Hey guys, welcome to Tommo Tinkers. In this episode I will be continuing with the Bloodfall Catacombs text adventure. We're going to fix a problem that we encountered in the last video where if we have a string being displayed that's got tags in it and is also centered, it doesn't center correctly. Before we carry on, if you are enjoying my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon so you get notifications whenever I release a new video. And with that, let's get started. Okay, so if you remember from the last video, if I just run the game, and we're centering the title, so we've got Welcome to the Bloodfall Catacombs, and it's supposed to be centered in the window, but as you can tell, it isn't. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of you. Now the reason for that is this is the lines that display those things, and we set them to output type center. They have tags in them, so we can color them. Now the way center works is it figures out where the center of the screen is, and it figures out what half of the length is, and then half of the length of the string, so let's say here, whatever it is, let's say it's 10. And then it displays it 5 away from the center, so it divides the length by 2, displays it 5 away from the center. We did this in the last video. If you need a refresher, you can always go back, but try to remember. Anyway, it measures the length of the string including the tags and bases its calculations on that, but then the tags get removed, so the text is the calculation is wrong basically, so we need to remove the tags before we do the calculation. Now if we go to our text displayer, we're doing, let's see, output type dot center, right centered, and then it does colored text display dot right colored line. So it sets the cursor position first, and then it brights a colored line out. What I would like to do is, well, there's a few ways we could handle this. Let's go through them. Okay, so we have the right character here, so the characters get output one by one. We can't really start subtracting positions from this. Yeah, that's not really going to work. We could also, this is the part where it does the center calculation, we could just strip the tags out here out of line, and then we could say, let's say we had a method line.strip tags as an example, and that would work, and then we could pass in, we would still have to pass in the original line to the right coloured line, but we would set our cursor position to the correct place. But that would involve doing the tag parsing twice. So I actually had to think long and hard about this, because the simplest way to implement this is to do exactly this, is to just do the calculation twice and not be bothered about the optimization. But let's have some fun. Let's do it a different way. So we already have our tags and everything here, our tag parsing code. So let's break this out into its own class. We'll call it the text tag parser. and we'll make a method pass that passes something back, and we'll pass in a string. And we'll call that string text. Now the thing we want to pass back is, we'll make a class for this. I don't know what to call it. It's going to contain the tags and the text, but with the tags removed. We'll just call it a tag passed text in the want of a better name. So we'll have a string of the, we'll call this display text. So it's actually the text that is going to appear on the screen. So this will be the my brain isn't working today. I do apologise. Oh, it's a public property, and I think we can. Yeah, so we'll assign it in the constructor, which we will move down, and we'll make it get only, and then the get is never accessed, but that doesn't matter. And then we'll have we need to store the tags somehow. So the tags will be we'll define another data type for that. Just call it tag for now. Now this is going to have the I don't know what we'll call it. We'll call it the tag label, which is going to be a string. I guess we don't need to call it tag label, we can just call it label. That will be a get only. And we'll also have an integer for index. So this will be the position in the display text where it appears. And then the tag pass text will have a collection of these, or a sequence of these, should I say. Maybe a sequence isn't the best thing to do, but we'll put something in for now. We'll change it if we need to. And this can be a get as well. And we'll initialize this from the constructor. This should be a struct. So if we make this a struct, then it cannot be null. We cannot initialize it with a null value. Anyway, let's steal the text from here. We'll steal the whole thing. Yeah, we can keep the actual definition of the tags in there, because that's not a concern of the parsing. That's just a concern of the thing that's doing the colouring based on the tags. So this text will eventually get the tags back and make the decision of how to write out everything. Okay, so we don't need why do we have oh, I can't remember why we did that. Oh yeah. So if the tag is a closing tag, never mind. We'll remove the color code. It was actually called line. but we will rename it to text because we don't really care if it's a line. We're not going to make that assumption. Okay, so we're going to enumerate through the whole line. We're going to create a string builder. Turns out you actually have to define local methods as local variables inside a method. Okay. So if it isn't a tag, we will just append the character. We'll also create a list of tags. It's a new list of tags. Let's rename this tag text. It isn't used anymore anyway. Okay, so when we find a tag, the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out where the tag appeared. Where does the tag start? So this will be the index in our tag class. So we can now create our tag. So we'll just do tags.add, and it will be a new tag, and it will be a, well, we'll have the label, which is the tag text, and we'll have the position, which is the tag start. Is that going to work though? Well, let's run it and see what we get. Of course, we're going to run return a tag parse text. And return a new tag parse text, and this will be the string builder's value, and we'll also have the list of tags as well. Okay, so in the colored text display, whoops, not there. When we write the colored line, and then we'll pass in line, which we can't do because parse isn't static, but it is now. Okay, so I'm going to put a breakpoint here so we can have a look at our structure. We can test it, see if it's working. Okay, and we'll just hit F10. So there's one tag, that's correct. The display text is correct, and the index is 0, and the label is cyan. So that's working. But I think we might have some indexing issue with things that have got more than one tag. So this one's got 2 tags. Okay, so let's run this. So the tags is So the display text is correct, that's working. So at 0, this magenta. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we expect the other tag to have a start index of 22. And of course it has an index of 32. So is the first tag 10 in length? I suspect it might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was 0 based indexing. So what we need to do is we need to subtract from the index the length of the tag. Or should I do like a cumulative length of all tags? So total tag length is tag. Oh, we'll add this plus equals tag text plus 2. The length of the tag text. And we'll add 2 to that. But we'll do this after the fact. And then we'll subtract that from the tag start. Let's try that again. Execute that line. So the display text is still correct. And that one's still correct, it still has an index of 0. That's correct. We're expecting the next one to have an index of 22. And the first one has an index of 0, the label is magenta. That's correct. So that has an index of 23. Maybe I miscounted a character. So let's count again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. But it comes after that. So yeah, that is correct. Okay. We don't actually want to do it here. We have to rethink how we do this. So we'll get our tags here when it comes to display line. It of course should be display text, I guess. We'll call it display line because we might have other types. And so the tags can be so we'll pass it before we do anything else with it. Okay, so the right centered takes a tag pass text. So this is actually now line dot display text dot length. Now, of course, the colors are not going to work anymore. We've taken that out. Doesn't really seem to work, does it? Oh. Right centered tags. Right coloured line doesn't do anything anymore. We actually need to pass the... It should be right centered line. Yes, the right coloured line doesn't actually output anything anymore. If we do... Now we should get our centered. Yeah, and you notice it's exactly centered now. Let's get away from this notion of using this notion of a coloured line. We'll have it instead right tagged text. And we'll have a so we still want to create the tags. Actually, we need a for loop for this because we need the index. And we'll strain it on the length. And we'll increment the index each loop. Okay. So we will let's bring in now using static. So we can just make use of the right command. Yeah, we'll get the character out. But before we do that, we'll check for the color tags. So tags. First our default, where the tag index is equal to our current index. And if that's not null, it means we're supposed to put a tag here. Of course we made this a struct. We actually need to make it a class. Making it a struct doesn't actually okay. So if there's not a tag for that index, sorry, if there is a tag for this index, if it contains the key of the tag, the label that is, we can now set the foreground color to the label of the tab. Sorry, the label of the tag. Okay, that should work. And it partially worked. Why did the second one fail? Is it because... Oh wait, we didn't get the first one. Let's breakpoint. And let's debug this. Because the index is 0. And this label is cyan. So we should have a tag. Which of course we do. So we set the foreground colour to this. And the character is W. Ah. And there it is. Aha. I know what the problem is. If we do it one at a time, you might be able to see. I'm moving it onto my other monitor where you definitely won't be able to see. So I'm just going to hit this a few times and I'll show you what happens. We finished that one and we didn't insert a new line. Basically. So we're going to have to start putting in our own line breaks. Maybe this isn't the best way to handle it. Because we do lines so much, maybe we should just stick with doing lines for now. Let's remove this breakpoint. And of course you see we get what we were before, although we haven't reset the colour. Let's handle that first. We copied it out. So whatever it was when we went in will be what it is when we come out. So we'll always be set back to what we were on. Okay, so that works right. Let's just change the format of this. I want to go back to doing lines and then we'll specify other formats. But since the line is the common case, we'll default to line. So it's right tag line, right centered line, and we'll write a /n at the end. And then we can remove these. So our coloured text display looks a lot nicer now. Of course it only does colours at the moment. I guess we should have a tag handling system if we start including different types of tags. But we'll see. We'll change it to right coloured line. Because that's what it does. More accurate name at the moment. We may change it in the future. And let's just run it again. Make sure that change works. And as you can see, it does. Okay, we solved that problem. I'm sorry about the delays of the videos, guys. I've been a little bit more busy lately, but I'll try and keep up so we can continue on and eventually make something kind of cool happen and get some kind of gameplay going, which would be nice. But for now, I will see you in the next video. Thank you and take care.